Welcome back to Iconic Climbs and welcome to the Garden of England in Kent. Now this is the first instalment of many this year, so I thought how better to start this than finding the most brutal climb in my area, and that's Brasted Hill. Now you'd be forgiven for thinking that I might have said hill. I mean, I once did, but once you ride it with us, yeah, you're gonna see that somehow that nickname kind of feels fairly appropriate. Now, before we get going, let me introduce to you all my good mate Steve, who is going to be joining us on the ride today. He's an all-round cycling nut, mechanic extraordinaire, and he's the co-founder of the newly formed bike shop in the area, the Velo Barn, which, funnily enough, is just down the road.
Yeah, thanks James. Hi everyone. And the riders in this area will know this climb very well. I've ridden it loads of times and it really is a pig of a climb. Those who haven't ridden it are in for a real treat.
Right, so we're here at the start of Brasted Hill, start of Brasted Lane as well. Now this is just 5.1% average gradient. The whole climb is 2.2 kilometres. But don't be deceived by this fairly gradual start that you can see. The climb maxes out at 16.3% at the top, so you better save your legs for then. Now the road surface itself, it's all good, road, tarmacked, so you can be fairly liberal in your tyre choice. You don't have to worry about getting punctures. Right, now the Strava KOM is what we all care about. I mean, we're obviously going for it today, aren't we, Steve?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Now, the person who holds this KOM is Steve Allen, and he's done it in 5:33. So we're going to have a good crack at that today. So Steve, expect to have an email from Strava at the end of the day saying you've lost it to Steve and James.
What's your fastest time, James?
Oh, you know me. I mean, I've avoided this climb like the plague. So I can probably count on one hand the amount of times I've ridden this. And I've lived here, like, as you know, 2 years now. So should we just crack on with this?
Let's go.
Let's go. So I think a really important thing to talk about on this climb is pacing. What do you reckon, Steve?
Yeah, I think you can easily get sucked into
Going out too hard.
going too hard because you think this is nice and easy, but then it ramps up so quickly.
So this is the thing with this climb. It gets harder and harder the further you go up it. The start section, I mean, yeah, it's fairly easy at a gentle 3 or 4%.
Yeah.
But what we're about to go up now, I mean, this is what, 16% on average?
Yeah.
For almost a kilometre. This right now, this is about, well, it's ramping up from what, 3 to 4 to 5.
And then
We're on about
just
8,
keeps
9
going.
at the moment. And we're about to hit 16%. Now this is really going to test my gearing. But like I say, you go out too hard and you gash yourself, you know, there's no bringing it back on the steep sections.
Yeah.
The steep sections are, well, they're an anaerobic effort, which is where you're not using oxygen, you're going into oxygen deficit. I don't know about you, but my heart rate is already going up and we haven't even hit the steep bit yet. Like, I am bricking myself coming up to this. Right, so we've just hit the start of the 1931 National Hillclimb. So this is a really nice thing to talk about in this climb, actually. The full section, yeah, it's 2.2k, but almost what, over 80 years ago, the Nationals was here. It's a 600-metre climb, averaging 14.3%. So just this steep bit, which we've just hit the start of now. Now the time in that was 1:54. Which is rapid considering the sort of bikes they're riding, don't you think? because this last bit is not particularly long, it's very much like an anaerobic effort. So if you had a standard chain set, 39.53, then you could almost certainly get away with that. So no need to put a compact on just yet. Oh, it's starting to bite down there. So this right now, 16%. This is the hardest bit of the climb. It's the final left-hand turn now. End is in sight. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Ooh, the lunge. Right, that's it. We've done our KOM effort. How do you reckon we did?
Not good enough.
No, I don't think we've done good enough. Certainly not 5:33. So, Steve, your record's safe for now, so don't expect an email from Strava. Man, we were absolutely gassed at the top of that. Definitely think I could have probably done with a few more gears. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think so.
I was way too overgeared.
Particularly, I think.
So for you guys who aren't quite sure what sort of gearing you should go for, if you're not sure, then err on the side of caution. Get compact, what do you reckon?
I think so, that's what I was using.
What did you have on the back?
28.
28, so was it 34, 28?
Yeah.
I think, yeah, one of us was sensible today, I think. I certainly wasn't, so I'm going to be changing my chain set when I get home. Oh, well, firstly, thank you to Mark and Steve and the Velo Barn for providing the coffee. I mean, I was promised coffee on drip. I don't know what on earth this thing is, Mark.
This is high octane caffeine, which you should have had before you went, really. But you know, you're having it now and it's replenishing.
So don't knock it till you tried it then.
Exactly that.
Okay, well, hopefully it will get me home. We had a crack at the KOM, didn't we? Yeah. KOM 5:33, held by, funnily enough, another Steve. But unfortunately, this Steve is not going to be sending that Steve an email later today via Strava saying that he's stolen his KOM. Unfortunately.
The good thing for us is we can practice it at lunchtimes.
You can do, and it's
That's a good point.
Yeah, and it's the trying which counts. That's what I'm going to take out today.
What setups did you have?
I stupidly tackled the climb with a 44 inner ring, which is the chain set off my TT bike. So yeah, a bit of a mistake. 28 block on the back, but I was dragging.
And you found it all right?
Well, with a cadence of about 30, no, I probably could have had a slightly easier gear on. So don't listen to me. I mean, like, that was a bit of a mistake on my part. I think had I not used my TT chain set, I probably would have been all right. But no, thank you so much for coming along. It was an awesome day.
Yeah, well, guys. Well, cheers.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah, thank you for the rocket fuel coffee.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and thank you guys for watching. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, then make sure you do, because it's the first feature in Iconic Climbs, and we have got loads to come this year. Yeah, and I'll see you all soon. Have a good one.